Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tom from RocklandWeb. Thank you for all being here for this webinar. It is our State of the Web Address 2020. Every year since 2015, and obviously it's a little bit of a play on the things that go on in our nation, but after the State of the Union Address and sometimes local things going on, such as the State of the County Address, which was actually very good, by the way. Saw it last week. County Executive Ed Day did a wonderful job over at the Palisades Mall, presenting how our county is doing, and we're actually doing quite well. After those events, we typically hold a State of the Web Address. And if you didn't get the underlying, what we were trying to allude to is the web address is your domain name. So it's probably kind of like a nerdy little thing that we joke around about, and probably nobody else gets, but that's okay. We have fun with it. But today, I hopefully have put together a really nice presentation for each of you to learn a little bit more about how you can utilize search engines in a useful manner for your website and for your business. So we got a pretty decent setup that we're going to go over the next hour or so. I have left some time for questions in the at the end of the workshop. At that point, I will pause the video because this is going to be posted on YouTube and Facebook and so on. So I'll pause the video for any sort of questions that come in because you might have very specific needs geared toward your particular website or web property that we can assist you with. So let's get started. A little bit about myself. So my name is Tom Osa. I'm the founder of this company, RocklandWeb. We originally started as Rockland Web Design back in 2007. I obviously have other endeavors as well. In addition to building the company, I've been part of 2 chambers of commerce, kind of combines them and help them to work a little bit more like a well-oiled machine. That objective on both has been successful. There's really good people running each of those chambers of commerce, and I'm really happy that the chambers have continued to grow in the area. Also, one of several founding members of a group called ProMetroNet. It's a networking group in Rockland County. It's the second oldest networking group in all of Rockland County. It was started right around the time when I started my business back in 2007. And all these other things. I wrote a book called How to Program Your Life. Some of the information that I provide to you during this workshop resonates within the book, which had been written 4 years ago. As far as Rockland Web, we currently host or maintain approximately 225 websites. We have a team of between 5 and 10 individuals working on various projects at any given time. This is a little bit more about the company, and here's a little bit about some of our established clients. Let's take out that spell checker thing, but these are some of our established clients in the area. So we're really happy to serve them and continue to grow with them. Let's get right into the topic at hand. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about search engine ranking factors. Within our company, we continually refined what we call the ACE Web Marketing Plan. It's something that we use for our clients, but it's very, very closely geared toward the social and search signals that are continually put out by Google and various other reputable sources, identifying what the most viable tools and capabilities are that you can use when you're building your website, or you're building your social media presence, or you're building your search engine authority. So we use these tools within our company for our clients to make sure that they get the best visibility possible for their businesses. A lot of what we're going to be talking about today is a reflection of all of that work that we've done over the last, I'd say, 4 to 5 years as we've been refining and building this program. So if you have any questions toward the end, certainly let me know. But let's talk about the data itself. If you look at this chart here, this is from Moz.com. It's a reputable source that we use continually. When somebody searches for any given question that they have on Google, so I'll just use an example. I'm just going to go to google.com real quick and say, I need a washing machine. All right, so it's just a simple query. We're going to search. All right, and we have some local results that show up, and we have some search engine results, and then at the bottom of the page, there's another 10 pages plus of additional search engine results. Of those results that show up for this specific search query, 55% of all the clicks go to the first 3 organic search results. And what that means is when somebody comes to this page, on average, they're going to skip down the beaten path here. If they see someone that they know, and remember this for later, if they see someone they know on this list, this local maps list, they're likely to click through. But further down the page, these are the organic search engine results. And it's very likely that the first 3 are going to be clicked upon. 55% of those results, of those clicks, go onto the first 3 organic search engine results. So where did the rest go? Well, let's talk about that. Whenever a Google goes to check your website or check your business property to learn more about it, it uses all of the individual components of the given website or the given property to rank it against any other items that are in its search engine that are relevant. So let's say if we used this same example, the washing machines, all right? Google's going to look for, let's say, your website. We'll use Home Depot as an example to see if washing machines are listed in various places of that particular page. And the way that it's listed and the places that that listing shows up on the page is going to reflect back and show in the search engine listings and rank them accordingly. This one might have the best relevance based on the particular search that the person had asked for. This second one, again, also very valuable and reputable, at least according to Google's algorithm. It's going to rank it against the first listing, and so on and so forth, all the way down the list, down to 100 or 200 or possibly several thousand listings for that washing machine. And this happens within the seconds, literally 1 to 2 seconds max, and you get all this information back. Google is aggregating, that means grabbing, this information in advance and ready to deliver an answer within 1 to 2 seconds. So going back to our chart here, there are a whole bunch of different signals that Google uses to determine the ranking of each of these individual pages that you can search through. Let's take a look at some of those factors. The first is known as Google My Business. Google My Business is really the maps area. This area here that each individual business can control to be able to add information about its own business. So if we choose automatic appliance as a particular, we see that this one has 73 Google reviews. Its address, hours, and phone number are very prominently placed, and a few other things. This particular listing has also indicated when they're open and closed, so that's good. They're putting some good information out there. And apparently they have their customers writing really good reviews. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so that accounts for 25% of a search engine ranking right there. All right. But wait, there's more, and we'll get to that momentarily. Let's go down to this next item. Also, by the way, each one of these are color coded to identify the particular area of the chart. This chart came from Moz.com, as I had mentioned. I will be adding that as source material at the end of this post. Just so you know, this is a local search engine ranking factors study that's conducted every 2 years by this company. And we use Moz in order to update certain search engine listings for clients, just as a side note. So going back to those factors, we already covered Google My Business. Link signals, all right? Link signals are essentially other companies or other websites that link back to a given website property. So let's say, for instance, that you have a local business and you want to make sure that it's getting some sort of links. The number one place that you would do that, if you're in a local area, in our opinion, is your local Chamber of Commerce. So I have on the screen the northrocklandchamber.org. All right, that's our Chamber of Commerce in the area. And we see that the business website for several individual companies are listed on here, as well as the business information about those places. So we'll choose one just as an example. Let's use Bricktown Bed and Breakfast. So we're going to click on this, go to bricktownbnb.com, and it takes you over to the Bricktown website. All right. So that is that second search engine factor, is link signals. Interestingly enough, link signals used to be almost 60% of Google search engine ranking factors. It's been downgraded because times have changed and other necessities in identifying the value of a particular link have risen over the course of time. Let's take a look at that third one, review signals. Now this is interesting because it is a separate item from Google My Business here, but it is correlated. It's the same exact thing in terms of Google Business Reviews. Let's go back over to this area here and notice on that automatic or Atlantic appliance. Atlantic or automatic? Atlantic. Okay, let's use Atlantic appliance. Atlantic appliance, if we scroll down, we're going to see that this particular company has over 100 reviews, or 136 reviews, 4.8 stars from a variety of different customers on average. Most of them give 5 stars. There might be 1 or 2 on there that were upset, or it's like, they're okay. But 4.8 is great. I mean, anything over, I'd say 4.3, 4.4, that's a really good rating, especially if you're getting a lot of volume of customers coming in. All right. So review signals account for 15.44%. Now, in a little while, we'll talk about how these two items here are really matched together, and you can really leverage those two things very easily and very quickly, in my opinion. On-page signals. All right. So we're going to go back to the washing machine example for a moment. We're going to go back here, and we're going to scroll down, and let's take a look at this title tag, this link that you would normally click through. Notice that it immediately starts with the words washing machines, washers and dryers, and again, in the case of the second listing, washing machines. If you go to the individual websites, we're going to Home Depot, and you look up at the top at what's known as the title tag. This particular website page has been, and I hate the term, but it is true, has been optimized so that each individual page has keywords listed within it, not just in the content, because we see washers and dryers are here, washers and dryers, washing machines, but also a little bit of, we'll say, light coding and adjustments, not a great deal, but just a little bit, where the title tag will show the keyword directly within it. And we see here washing machines, washers, and dryers, the Home Depot. Washing machines, Best Buy. And if you look at all the top listings, they're all going to say the words washing machines, washing machine, washing machine. That is what that on-page signal typically means. Is the keyword listed inside of the website multiple times? It also accounts for the content on that particular website. Is the content of the website good quality? Is it well written? And that's an important factor. I mean, I've seen websites with just admittedly poor grammar, and you know, they could work on the spelling a little bit. There's some things. All right, so you want to make sure that everything on your website properly spelled, the content is clean, and again, the keywords in each of the pages show up in the title tag. All right, so we'll go back. So those are your on-page signals. Citation signals. Now, this is a tricky one. I actually had to look this up because I wasn't sure. I mean, we really focus on the biggest bangs for your buck. But citation signals have to do with network access points. Let's take a look here. Okay, so I won't go into this too deeply, but back in the day, there were 4 network access points across the United States. And the convergence of them, there was publicly available information. You guys remember the yellow pages, yellow book, things like that? Well, that still exists today. And if you go to a place like Yellow Book, and we're just going to go to the local pages directory, and we look for, we're going to go back up, Atlantic Appliance. Let's see if we could do this. Yorktown Heights, New York. Just make sure I got that right. Yorktown Heights, New York. Now I might have to search for the washing machine, but let's see what happens. Atlantic Appliance, Yorktown Heights. We're going to search. Are we going to search? Not allowing me to. Washing machine? Fire truck? Interesting. We cannot actually search for anything on here. Okay, so apologies. I will explain this. All right. So if your company is listed in even the white pages, I'm not saying you have to go out and get a yellow book listing because obviously that's several $100s a month. But even in the white pages, this should be able to be searched okay. Atlantic Appliance, Yorktown Heights, New York. Click on that, search. ALS Appliance. Okay. All right. So it looks, oh, there we go. There we go. This will work. Appliance, Yorktown Heights, New York. Search. There we go. Okay. Atlantic Appliance Inc., Yorktown Heights, New York. And we click on View Details, and then we'll see all the information about that particular company. All right. So long story short, this information on publicly available listings that you may not control, but you can influence, have to all line up with each other. This address, this phone number, the name of the company, even down to the word Inc. and whether there is a period or not a period at the end of that word, all of that information has to line up with what's on your Google business listing. It has to line up with what's on your website if you have one. Everything has to line up 100% or as much as possible toward 100%. That's essentially what a citation signal is. It's indicating Google is cross-referencing, and again, it does this, billions and billions of times a day with multiple websites. It's cross-referencing all of the information of every company with the publicly available information that's available at these various network access points. all right? So they are still available. And again, they only account for approximately 10% of your rankings. Behavioral signals, okay? Now this is an interesting one. If you ever have looked at your Google Analytics, all right? So I'm just gonna bring up some random Google Analytics here for, I guess we'll use our own just so that we're not messing with anyone else's stuff. All right, so behavioral signals, once a person gets to an individual website, I'm going to go back to 2019 here and apply. Now, hopefully you have analytics on your website. It's free. It's available for installation without any issue or problem whatsoever. All right. We'll go back to November 2019. Okay, there we go. All right. So we get our website typically gets approximately 1 to 200 requests per month reviewing our website located at RocklandWebDesign.com. All right. Now, these are the signals that were mentioned on the page over here, behavioral signals. How many people are coming to the website? How many new users? How many sessions? How many page views? Average duration? Bounce rate? Pages per session? All that, what it accounts to is the number of signals that the website is being used and used properly and used for the specific purpose that was indicated in the search engine question to begin with. So as an example, I need a washing machine as a Google query is obviously not going to bring up Rockland Web Design's site because there's no keywords on there related to that. And furthermore, nobody's ever clicked through a washing machine question and shown up on our website. All right, and we can even cross-reference if we go back down here and we look at site search, we can look at individual terms that people use in order to get to Rockland Web Design. Just looking for that information. Oh, there we go. So all the individual pages that people look through, a trove of data. All right. If you don't have Google Analytics, I would highly recommend that you have it installed on your individual websites. If you need help with that, we can do that. Google Analytics, the actual application is free. It just takes literally 30 minutes to an hour of coding. It's not a big deal for us. All right, so we're going to continue forward. So those are your behavioral signals. That's your Google Analytics, how your website is being used by the audience at large. Personalization. And really what this comes down to is how your website looks. Does it conform with Google standards for how a website should look? Even a basic website, all right? So here's in terms of the style of the website, it doesn't necessarily have any major enhancements to it. It's this is D. Leonardis Electric, phone number, very useful, social media, links, a little slideshow, individual calls to action and so on, and then interior pages that you could click through and take a look at various information, all right? There's nothing really fancy about it, okay? But it does absolutely conform with Google generally practiced standards for building a website. And the reason why is because Google wants to be able to easily search through the website to find the information that it's looking for. So how much does that account for? Only 5.88%. So in essence, this website here, all right, and this website here, Hofbartelsson Music School, all right, while very nicely designed, all right, the differentiation between this website and this website in terms of personalization, how highly Google considers that, is only approximately 5.88%. It's all the other things that matter more to Google. And finally, social signals. For all the time that we spend on Facebook, for all the time that we set up events and we contact people, and it's like, please join us for this event. And I used it to contact you guys. Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those individual things, any links that are coming from Twitter, from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all of those recommendations, when people say, check out this website, all those click-throughs to your website for Google, 2.82%. Now, that may be unfair because Google, over the course of time, has traditionally kept those social signals low. And in my opinion, one of the reasons for that is they've never been able to gain any level of prominence using social media for their own business. They have not created a platform that people have decided to use over the past 20 years that was useful. Facebook basically took over, and that was it. Twitter, of course, Instagram, owned by Facebook, and of course, LinkedIn for business to business. All right, but think about this. Google launched a back in, I think, 2013 or 2014, Google launched their own social media tool. It was called, I don't even remember, Google Social Media, Google Plus. All right. It was used up until, I'd say, the middle of last year, April of 2019. Yeah, April of 2019, Google Plus was shut down because, quite frankly, people weren't using it. It did turn out that if you posted material to Google's social media area, it was a very valuable signal for individual websites, and you were able to gain some search engine ranking for it. But in essence, it didn't reach critical mass, and ultimately Google did decide to shut it down in April of 2019. Now, that's not to say that Google's social media efforts are completely defunct, because guess where a lot of that programming went into? Google My Business. Google Plus essentially combined a lot of its capabilities with the Google local platform that it had already made available to a large multitude of people, and turned it into what's known today as Google My Business. All right. I've also listed, and I'm not going to go into this too deeply because I don't want you guys to get the spinnies, but I've also listed the individual signals and how they're used in more of a list format. Okay. So I will be loading this presentation up to the RocklandWeb blog, and I'll post it and send a message out on the Facebook event to let you know about this. All right. But what I'd like to do now is go back to the original premise that I had mentioned before about how can you utilize your own website and your business in order to get much more viable search engine results. And it comes down to, in my opinion, and we saw the chart, the core of this whole thing, the very, very core, is Google Business Reviews. Using your Google My Business area, which you can pick up on your own, and I'm going to show you how to do that today, so that you can leverage all the information that you already have and start using it within Google's business location to give your website an extra boost in the rankings. Why do I say this? Let's go back to the chart for a minute. As I mentioned before, Google My Business accounts for 25% of search engine ranking factors, 1/4. If you add on the bonus of getting, oh, excuse me, getting a phone call, we're going to shut that down. Apologies. Okay. If you add on the review signals, the reviews that people give when they are satisfied, just trying to go back to the washing machine example. If you add on the reviews here, you're talking about a whopping 40%. 40% of search engine ranking factors. Now, I'm not talking about if you're trying to get business in California or not even in Florida or even, I'm talking about a 25 to 30 mile radius around your business. And I would gather that most of our clients, and we have retail businesses and small business, business to business, it's usually a 30 to 50 mile radius. So you can leverage this information immediately by following some of the simple steps that I'm going to outline here. All right. So the first thing that you want to do is you're going to claim your business listing. You could do this, if you haven't done it already, by going to business.google.com. I'm just going to go there right now. I'm going to have to log out because we manage a decent number of business listings. Okay. Okay, so you get to this page, all right, manage now. You have to sign in with a Google business account. Let's just use this one for the heck of it. I'm going to pause this for a moment so you don't see the password being provided. One moment, please. Okay, we're resuming the recording. Okay, so this is our business listing here for North Rockland Chamber of Commerce. So once you're logged in, all right, you can claim a listing. I mean, and the easiest way is when you go to business.google.com, sign out again. Manage my business profile. Maybe I went to the wrong location. All right, I unfortunately won't be able to go any further than this in order to fill it out. Let me show you an alternate way because you would have to sign in with your own Gmail or Google account in order to log in to conduct this. But basically, any Google connected email address. It could be an opt-online email address. It could be a Yahoo email address. It could be pretty much anything, all right? So you log in with that. You might have to connect it, but once you do, on the next screen, which I'm not able to show you here, there will be a question asking what is the name of your business, what is your address, and so on and so forth. And then it's going to go out and it's going to go cross-reference and look for that particular business listing that's already out there. I mean, a good example, let's say bagel shop. All right, so we got Miracle Bagels. Let's use one that doesn't really maintain its listings too much. Let's try Lock, Stock, and Bake. Okay, so right here where it says own this business on this particular search listing, you're going to click on that and boom, you're going to get back to this, all right? But the next screen is going to ask it if you want to control this listing and so on and so forth. Once you get there, all right, Google will send you either via phone or postcard. It will send you a 6-digit code, all right? Preferably you want to do the phone thing because that's pretty much instantaneous. You get a 6-digit number, and once you type in that 6-digit number on the verification screen, you will indeed have access to the Google business listing in question. Now, the only thing that might be as a side note is that it's possible that somebody else has claimed the business listing, or maybe someone within your company has claimed the business listing. That's a little dangerous because if that's the case, you're going to have to figure out a way to track back to that particular person that owns the listing, and ultimately be able to claim it through that particular email address. There's ways around it. We can help, but try this first. Just trying to claim it without having to go through any additional rigmarole. Okay, so we're in here. I'm going to use Rockland Web Design as an example. Go, boom. Okay, so you get in here and boom, there is all of the information that you want to fill out. And there's a lot of it, admittedly, okay? The first tab you want to go to is Info, all right? I won't go through this completely, but you're going to indicate all the information about your particular business. The address, the location, which is the same thing, the times that you're open, times that you're closed, phone number, web address, so on and so forth. Very, very importantly, I'm going to show you one place that you should fill out that's a little bit innocuous, but very important. This thing right here. See this @ symbol? Okay. What this is a profile short name. The profile short name is going to be the way that you can send out this profile to other people and ask them for a qualified review. All right. So you have to fill out this short name in order to be able to send it out to other people. Okay. So you're going to have this, so you fill out as much of this stuff as possible, all of it. All right. I won't go into all of it, but there's a lot. You'll be able to see the different searches that people use. 333 searches apparently. What was that? Total searches 333. You'll also have access to a place where you can respond to reviews. All right, so with our company, thankfully, we've got like about 102 reviews in the system thus far, and that didn't happen overnight. We spent several years working with customers and getting reviews and responding back to them, thanking them, and so on and so forth. So certainly want to build that out over time. Your first objective is to get 10. All right, if you've been in business for 3 months, 6 months, I'm sure you have at least 10 customers, and you want to encourage them to fill out the form. How do you do it? Well, for our listing, we use g.page/RocklandWeb, and then we add a little slash at the end, and we say review. Okay, g.page/RocklandWeb/review. This is that short name that we mentioned before. And we type that, boom, we hit review, and watch what happens. The listing shows up, and immediately we have the ability to write a review for ourselves. So obviously we wrote a review for ourselves, so it's really 101 reviews that we actually have plus us. But we can write a review, we can add pictures and so on. This is the thing that you would send out to your customers, and they can write those qualified reviews. All right. In my opinion, my suggestion is when you go to ask for those reviews, don't mention about filling out a Google review first. First, find out if they're happy with your services. So you get on the phone, you say, hey, just wanted to check in with you. It's been a week since we worked together. Did you like the service that we provided? And the customer on the other end is going to say, probably one or two things. Hey, you guys were great. Or, hey, I hate you and I never want to speak to you ever again. If it's the first thing, send them the review request because it's very likely that they're going to write a nice review. If it's the second thing, don't, because they're probably not. I'm sure you see the point on that. Anyway, so you get those qualified reviews from your customers and then responds to them. Yes, you can respond to these reviews. As I mentioned, you can edit and respond to each one of the reviews, thanking them for their patronage of your business and so on and so forth. So we do that pretty regularly for most of them. Sometimes we miss a few, but we try to thank people back for what they've, them utilizing our business, and hopefully we've helped them out in some way, shape, or form. All right, so you certainly want to write on the reviews. And then finally, over the course of time, you do want to go back here, and we recommend, I'd say once a month, go back in and add additional information, add photos about your business, add the different products and services that you guys provide. So we have different places where we could add in information on our own. And that's the thing that you want to do in order to get more Google My Business utilization. All right. So again, that accounts for 40% of your local search engine ranking factor. All right. There's other things that you can do to rank better. All right. Some of them are on your website, some of them are off. Okay. Like I mentioned, the review signals account for 15%. We just covered that. On-page signals, we mentioned the presence of NAP. Basically, we want to make sure that your website has the same exact corporate name, the exact same address, the exact same phone number as on those public listings that are available on the yellow pages and the white pages. There is a way of standardizing all of those listings, and there's 14 different search engine aggregators. There's a way of standardizing them very quickly with just a matter of 2 hours of work. We can show you how to do that, or if you'd like us to help you with that, we can help you to standardize. And that's only something that you really need to do maybe once every 4 years, 5 years. Once it's done, it's done. You don't have to keep on going back to the well. But every once in a while, check and make sure that the listings across all those different 14 search engine aggregators are indeed accurate and aligns with what you have on your website. Keywords in the titles. We mentioned about this before. If you go back to a given web page looking for that washing machine, yes, indeed, the title tag should have the keyword listed directly within. Same thing for Best Buy, same thing for your website. If you're looking to sell washing machines, that title tag up at the top should say washing machines. The heading on the page should say washing machines. The content in the site, approximately every 5 words out of 100 words should be a keyword. 5% of the content of any given web page should be keywords. Washing machines, washers and dryers, and so on and so forth. And that just comes down to good writing. Domain authority really can't control. That's really just how popular the website is in general. So that's something that happens over the course of time. If you have a domain for 6 months, it's not going to have as much authority as a domain that's been around for 10, 15 years. We recently acquired RocklandWeb.com as a domain. But quite frankly, Rockland Web Design, the original website that we created 13 years ago, that ranks very nicely in search engines, just the way it is. And then there's some other things. Citation signals, again, the NAP consistency, the network, the public access points. Behavioral signals, when somebody goes to your website, if it's being clicked through properly. It's also very important that the website is mobile friendly, all right? And if it's not mobile friendly, and we see here, this is a little bit off, the pictures are not that great and it's not aligned very well. If a website isn't mobile friendly, that's a problem because Google does want to know that a website is going to support customers on whatever platform that they look at. So it should serve you just as well on your mobile device as it does on your laptop or your desktop computer. All right. So if your website is not mobile friendly, that is something that's very important because it's going to reduce the amount of time that people spend on your website. You should also have a click to call button. These days, let's say we'll use Dealey and Artis Electric again. If you go to, well, we'll use both. From a very, very nice, well-designed website with all the features. We have a click to call button here that we did. But even for a website that, is a little bit more, just standard in terms of its layout, the click to call button is indeed there. And the website is indeed mobile friendly. All right. Those are the sort of signals that Google does look for. And Bing, I should mention. I said how search engines work. Bing does this too. There's variations in the percentages. Certainly, Google Business is probably not a big search engine signal in Microsoft's search engine, but I'm sure it factors into a certain degree. Personalization, again, we mentioned it doesn't have to be a really fancy website. It could be just kind of moderate in layout. And then finally, social signals, 2.82%. You know, really, social and search are still way far apart from each other. Google's never going to search everyone's individual post and look for whether your business is listed in there. There might be some outbound links and so on and so forth, but it's really not going to do much with that. So again, the biggest bang for your buck, I can't emphasize this enough, is that Google local reviews area, Google My Business, and being able to get really good qualified reviews. So that's, and we're right on time, by the way, that's the essential presentation that we have for search engine ranking factors in our state of the web address. I've already queued up another workshop. We've talked a little bit kind of, you know, technically and scientifically, if you will, in this, and, you know, and a few blips. It wasn't a perfect presentation, but it's fine. I'm sure you get the point of some of this, and that's the important thing. So we talked about search engines and how they work and how you can use them. We're going to do another workshop. We're going to do it next Tuesday on February 18th at the same exact time, 12 noon. All right, and we'll go for an hour. We will record the workshop again. And each one of these workshops, when we post them, we're going to post them to the website at RocklandWebDesign.com. And there's a blog section with the state of the web address right here. So we're going to add the download of the video right in this area, as well as the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so that concludes the my presentation portion of this. I'm going to pause the video, and if anybody has any specific questions that they would like to cover in this presentation, I'll be happy to clarify anything that was discussed. And no need to worry about if your information's out there, because I'm going to pause the recording and nobody will be able to hear it. But yeah, if you have any questions, we'll continue then. And for the rest of you watching this as a video, we'll look forward to seeing you on February 18th at 12 noon. Thanks for attending today, and we'll talk to you soon.